Alright, hello everyone. We might as well actually get it going after all. Anyway, hi, I hope you guys are having a good evening, or afternoon, I guess, for people from Australia, that sort of region of the world. Anyway, hello, I'm Feather Monster, and we're here to see a week 2 match that would be Div 1, Intent versus Singularity. Looks like because the server was on this map that we'll probably be starting on Veil unless, we end up switching to Descent. I mean, it is one of the two maps that is going to be played. The two are Descent and Veil. And so we're sitting around here waiting for I think the last player to connect. It looks like or nope, never mind. We're still waiting for two people to connect. Uh so far, for Singularity, we have JJ, Mikon, Shades, Kane, and Wake. And for Intent, we've got Tommy Guns, Andy Burr, Aol, I think that's Conquer, with his name spelled backwards, and Pinocchio. And who's sending me messages? Alright. Anyway, we're just waiting around for those last few people to connect, so, yeah, it'll be interesting to see this. This is the first of the, like, higher division matches that have gone on so far, so that's pretty I don't know, pretty interesting that it is actually finally happening, but at the same time, come on guys, you're being slackers. We still have quite a few more matches that need to have their week 1 and 2, schedules confirmed and all that nonsense. Sing is playing again tomorrow night versus Narcolepsy Light, which I'll also be casting. And, let's see, I think Intent is playing, I don't know, like it's some absurd hour of the morning. It's Sunday for me. It's like 3 a.m. Pacific time, so I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. I think they're playing On Fire then. So that'll be coming up. I don't know who's going to be casting that. That currently is not casted. So if you're a caster and you're awake at that period of time, maybe you should go cast that. I mean, it's an option. I'm theoretically, just before I forget, speaking of casting things, I did lower my bitrate in my stream here so that hopefully for, the magical Aussie internets that are made out of koalas and galahs or whatever, can actually handle it and not buffer, horribly. If it looks ugly, that'd be why, and I'll just know in the future to, up the bitrate a little bit so it doesn't look quite as ugly. Fingers crossed it isn't going to be too bad. I mean, this is mostly top down, so it shouldn't be as crazy and drastic as it might have been if I was a field player crashing around, giant pixels the size of the entire skulk and that kind of thing. Anyway, it looks like we just got the last player on there. It looks like I think that was Sharp that just joined up, so we're waiting on the last player for Intent. And then we'll be pretty much ready to go. For those of you who didn't know, recently added a whole bunch of links to various competitive NS2 related thingies to the middle column of the text beneath my stream. It has links to pretty much, what is it? It has links to the normal NSL site, the Twitter, the various Steam groups, the Oz NS2 League, the what else? I'm forgetting something. The differences between comp mod and vanilla. That's also a good one that's, nice to remember. Handy to look at if you can't remember all the little changes that have been made. Also worth noting, I'm not quite sure to see how this will end up going. I know that Intent has probably had a little bit more practice in, at least recently, just because obviously they are in the Oz League. They are a team made up of Aussies and Kiwis. I think there's more than one person from New Zealand, so it can be plural there. They've obviously had their week or their league that's been in I don't know what week, but it's been going a few weeks longer than the NSL has been. So it'll be interesting to see how things end up going. Just because, yeah, this is the first Div 1 match, and it's Singularity's first match for this season, so always a little bit rusty for those first few matches, I think, for most teams. Just because, well, I mean, summer was kind of slow, people didn't really play that much, and now it's like, well, time to get back into the swing of things. Let's see what else is there. I think I covered that with everything that was in that middle column. But yeah, for anyone who isn't really used to playing with comp mod, the main aside from a lot of little number differences, is again go down to the thing, go down to the link I have about differences between comp mod and vanilla. Open that in a new tab. You can see all the little number differences. But the main things that most players would run into would be HMGs and also the lurk glide delay thing. So HMGs, crazy, stupidly powerful weapons of doom with a zillion bullets but a heinously long reload time. Lurk glide delay just means you can't silent lurk as much because, well, you kind of have to flap or you're going at like the relative speed of a snail or something. Still waiting on the last intent player. Still hasn't joined up. Somebody 5 o'clock in the morning in Germany, and one guy's still watching. That's pretty much dedication right there. So yeah, we're just waiting on that last person now. Obviously, since it does look like we're going to be starting off on Vale, it is a map that definitely we'll have to see how these first engagements go. Both the ones over in, let's go into the blackness, the ones over in probably Skylights-ish to West Junction, and the one over that would probably happen about East Junction. It's because those are such key points on the map, and they determine whether the Marines are actually able to break out and do stuff, or if they are going to end up almost turtled on just their naturals in their base. We saw some of that with some of the lower division teams where they totally threw one side of the map just because, well, they tried something a little bit different, or I think one guy went in the vent and just kind of hung out in there and moved forward and separated from his friend. They both got wrecked. Well, so it goes. Obviously, since they are Div 1, this will hopefully not necessarily happen. Obviously, that was my bird saying hello. She shouldn't be particularly loud at this hour. It's almost time for her to go to bed, so shouldn't have to worry about her too much. Oh, let's see, what else is there? Still hasn't joined up. We're still waiting on that last guy. Who's that last intent player? Come on, guys. Let me see here. Well, it looks like we have somebody. Okay, we do have somebody joining the server, and I see that Singularity has readied up. So we should be getting the last player in here pretty soon. Oh, there we go. I believe that is Flo, because I looked that up earlier. So now we have, Chanel Vintage is Flo. I'm just going to call him that because since I know who it is, just going to call him that. Other than that, since we do have it ready up, hopefully we'll be seeing Intent get things sorted on their end. We'll be seeing the start of the round here fairly soon. Thankfully, of course, with the maps that we have for week 2, which is the one that we're doing here, is their week 2 match. We don't have to worry about any crazy RNG shenanigans, where you'd have to wait for somebody to spawn in the same certain place on the map or anything like that. No, that's reserved for, I believe, the match that's Singularity or both of their teams' matches in the next 24 hours plus from now or whatever. Okay, I think it's like 20 hours to 25 hours or something from now. For both these teams. So they can have fun with that and deal with the stupidity that is called trying to get Marines to spawn on the north half of the map. Guess what? I hope you guys are all happy we don't have to worry about that right now. It's Puzzle saying, welcome to Feather's BM cast. Come on, I'm not being BM. Really? But let's see. So we have everyone. I covered everyone that was on the list. Sing's ready to go. We're just waiting on Intent. Alright, there we go. We had the ready up from Intent, so we have 15 seconds into round 1 here. Singularity versus Intent. Week 2 match here on Vale. Alright, unsurprisingly, we got a start up there in reception for Marines. Or Control, sorry, wrong map. And we have a pipe hive down here for Intent. Looking up here, we do have an armory. So that'll be going for mines right off the bat. And we'll see how they go. With 4 going out towards Topo, that does mean that theoretically they could either push all the way out towards Nano. But we don't see a gorge, so we don't have to worry about that. Everybody's actually out of the hive at the moment. So they're just sisting everywhere. They aren't relying on a gorge to go and put the tunnel in Nano. With Wake and Shades pushing forward, it looks like they're a little bit split up. JJ building the power. Actually picked Pinocchio out of the vent. He is the comm, I believe, so that isn't that big of a deal, since he was the one who died. Flo's just hiding around the corner there in the vent. He was out of line of sight of, oh, who changed their name to Doll? That's not cool. Oh, that was Sharp. Never mind. That makes sense then. Anyway, Flo just got killed there. Tommy Guns is waiting up on the wall there above the vent, if you take a look there. Shades and Wake are just kind of waiting around. I don't know whether they're waiting up for someone to do something. I think they're just expecting to see whether or not they're going to come and push for that. Mikan's over here. He has Ale and Conkers just He's kind of poking in the room, and he didn't start working on that RT, so that's no big deal. As he does die over here, we are seeing Shades and Wake moving in. I believe they just took down one Skulk. I think. Possibly two. Either way, they have moved into Nano. It's just Cysts in there, so they will be able to clear those out. Assuming the aliens do not group up to push in. There are mines down. I hear them. I think those are the ones in the base, so they are prepared in case they decide to run towards the base. But with Conquer and Ale both chipped and Flo moving in a little bit early, it does look like they're probably going to lose this engagement, especially with Tommy Guns going in there with no health as well. So currently, Singularity does have control of Nano at this point. We're seeing Sharp down here in Cargo. Killed the Drifter, so there goes, what is that, 6 T-Res down the drain. And looks like we also saw the cyst. No, that was just the one cyst getting popped. Hearing some more mines. Where are they? I think that's just more up in the base. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of mines in base. So if they decide to rush, well, they better make sure they don't explode. And since we do see pretty much all the Skulks over here, they do know that's coming, and Mikon is nicely down the hallway so that way he'll maybe pick off one of the Skulks. But actually he didn't. He ended up going down there. So Connie's out of the chair, and he's running to the far side of the room to basically try not to die. And that mine actually took out 2 of them, so whoops. Connie's pulling them back really far from the IP to make sure that way, well, he doesn't end up getting killed. He does go down, but another mine took out yet another Skulk. So there are only 2 Skulks left, and there are 2 Marines back, plus a spawner, which I believe is Kane. So 1 Skulk left, and there he's down. So definitely good to put down that many mines in base. I mean, that was at least 2 sets, and now there's only 1 set remaining, I think. Meanwhile, while that was going on, it looks like somebody cut the assist that was going over there to the RT, and we had Shades down here in Cargo killing that RT. I mean, sure, the Skulks kind of had to try that. I mean, Intent had to try and do something since they did lose Nano. Since there's only 1 guy in there right now, and the armory is not built, so they can't get get more mines in there. It's pretty much open, but they need to be careful. They do have. It looks like they are maybe going to try and take down Mikon. He's pretty far away from where they currently were located. Shades is also going to run back up, and I don't know whether they're going to try another base hit here. They're a little bit scattered. Andy Burr's over around the corner, so he's not exactly helping his little Skulk buddies. And Flo's pretty well hurt. Andy Burr's going to take down Shades, I think it was. Yes. But Wake and Sharp are both going to be moving into both moving into Nano, and they're going to get that armory up, and that'll mean that mines will be available in Nano. Looks like they're going to possibly push in and see if they could try and take that down before the armory's built. It is almost done. It's 98%. Just a couple bites, and they are finally able to take him down. Looks like they're going to go and try and take down the power there. That'll obviously mean that what res they have there. Yeah, come on, guys. All good on the power. Stay there, please. But they're going to take down the power, and that'll obviously make the RT stop creating resources, and that armory never even got finished, so they couldn't even get mines from that. They did place 1 mine over there in the little connector, right outside of East. Let's see whether or not they can bait somebody into that, because it'll be a good little trap that if they get pushed all the way back down the hallway. But hey, they didn't need it. They can just go in there and try to finish up that, or weld the power, finish the armory, and continue. It is Lurkera, so we'll be seeing 1 or 2 Lurks popping up here very shortly. Meanwhile, it's just going to have to be an issue of, let's see. Alright, we're seeing Andy Burr up as a Lurk. Oh no, he better get out of that egg ASAP. Oh no! Nope. Rest in peace. Sharp came in there and managed to snipe that Lurk egg, no problem. We have Tommy Guns up here in base on the power. That is pretty much the only thing that doesn't have a mine on it. Kane's just going to poke his head out of the chair and just try and kill him, but, you know, all he really needs to do is waste a little bit of time. So this definitely puts Intent on the back foot more than they already were. I mean, sure, they lost they didn't get control of Nano, and they lost the RT and Cargo initially, I believe. But now they are down a Lurk, and I don't know whether they have another Lurk player even. But I would hopefully they do, because, well, it's a long way to go until Fates. And there goes another one of JJ's mines taking out Flo right there. And moving in on Wake and are able to take him down, but there are mines now in Nano, so that'll make things a little bit harder if they want to try and clear that. The power obviously got repaired. We have Mikon down here standing nicely back at the back of the room, where there's this huge long distance that Skulks will have to cross to be able to get there. Tommy Guns is up as a Lurk. He'll definitely help out there with trying to take Mikon down, especially with those spikes. But all right, I see another Lurk up too. That'll be Flo up as the Lurk. That's right, he plays Lurk. I forgot about that. So they do have 2 Lurks again. Well, again, now finally, I suppose. A little bit late on them. I don't know whether they had to make a discussion or have a discussion about what was going to happen with that or what, but we're going to see Mikan finally get taken down, and that's actually still sisted, so that's no problem there. I can put down another sister too just to keep it safe, but we're seeing Shades and JJ outside on other sides of Nano. They just better watch out for those for any more mines that get placed in there. Phase Tech is up. There's obviously Phase Tech that has been dropped in Nano, so they're obviously trying to Singularity's obviously trying to secure that. Like, you know, no question there. Flo almost hits a mine and goes down to fairly low health, so he better go be safe. I actually just lost Tommy guns right around the corner here outside of Nano. Andy Burr obviously getting taken out there by JJ. And Flo's just hiding down there in the vent, as you can see, just getting, I don't know if they, yeah, probably getting regen at this point so he can, you know, survive. Regen has been adjusted so that when you're in combat you don't regen, unless something else has changed. They actually just recycled the obs? Lost an obs? I'm not quite sure. I was looking at the Chaos in Nano. Either way, they currently did not have an obs. Now they have an obs again. They're actually going for an AA. They already have Armor 1 weapons too, so quick rush for HMGs perhaps. And Flo almost gets taken out again. He does have regen. He'll be regenning there in the vent wall. The Skulks just annihilate that power node. They're actually getting towards Fade Res, so that isn't too bad. They are only on 1 biomass though, so it'll be a little bit before they're able to get metabolized. However, by the time they get to that, I mean, let's look at Singularity's res graph. They're almost up to 7. They were up at 7, I think, for a little while there, yeah. I mean, there have only been 2 RTs taken down in 8 minutes. That's just not good. And Flo is going to get taken down here if he does not get into that vent. They really needed to go and expand more towards the left side of the map. I don't remember seeing the cis chain ever going towards Y Junction. Just, I think they got, like, lost and confused when Singularity was kind of all over in Nano, and they're like, well, we got to get them out of Nano. But, well, when you get Marines in Nano, you have to take everything else. There is basically no question. There goes the cis chain towards sub. It looks like Flo's finally decided to get the heck out. He's coming up through the vent. We'll have to see whether they're going to try and push them out, but obviously with that phase gate there, I mean, yeah, throw down a couple mines, and that'll be pretty well secured for the, you know, foreseeable short-term future. There, one tickle. Oh, whoa, Flo again, just almost getting wrecked yet again. But it looks like he's safe to get out, especially if he goes through the vent there. He'll probably make his way back to the hive, no problem, finally be able to heal up. Shotguns are up. Armor 2 is researching. So shotguns, they have an AA, so they're doing pretty well. I mean, they're sitting on 6 RTs. And obviously that one is finally building. It's up to 25%, and JJ might end up stumbling across that one, especially since he just took down Tommy guns. It does look like he might be heading that way. And we have 2 guys moving down towards cargo, which is, you know, it doesn't have anything too important in it other than that that RT. And since they both have shotguns, that might actually not exactly be the best room to fight in, but because there's that huge distance that lurks could spike down, but there's only the one lurk, so who knows. They're going to lose that RT there in sub. Well, it looks like we're seeing a giant swarm over here to Nano. Shades is going to go down, and they're going to swarm onto that phase gate. Taking a look, there is nobody in base currently. Mikan is running in to try and protect him, but it has been spotted by the Drifter. They know it's a shotgun. They know I don't know whether they know that JJ's coming in from the other side, but the phase gate in Nano is down. And that'll be enough to at least delay that. Sure, they aren't going to get the power down unless something magical happens. But at least it's pulling more Marines back to Nano rather than, you know, elsewhere. Meanwhile, they got the gate up in Dome. So now they have Marines on their doorstep cutting their cis chains. You can do some clever sisting to get around it, like sisting through east instead of through Dome. You know, sisting up through this part of the map, because nobody's going through there now, especially not with the Dome gate. But hey, the Nano gate's back up too. So pretty much the entire map, aside from this little corner over here, is all locked down by Marines. Okay, as I said, you can sis through east and, you know, just be annoying and maybe get some RTs back up. But, yeah. And we have AOL up as a fade. We'll have to see what they end up doing with it. We have Flo on the wrong side there. He's able to duck into a vent. But, you know, he's on the... Oh, no, that is the one that's connected. So he can get over and try and get out. But Sharp is kind of in that hallway. AO almost killing Wake, I think it was. Conquer is the other Fade. Tommy Guns gets taken down. He was just a skulk, so no big loss. We'll just have to wait and see what happens here, but it doesn't look too good unless they're able to go and totally just wreck these engagements. Because this is pretty much the... Oh, wait, we have Sharp here lurking in the vent. I have to see if he ends up popping out on somebody's head, but at the moment I think he's just trying to make sure that... No, he's going to sneak up behind him. He's going to look for somebody coming the other way, but Pinocchio's going to spot him. Oh, he actually did take down Ao there. So here comes all the Marines while everybody's panicking because they did just lose a fave. Conquer's actually very low. He's able to get in the hive. I also saying that there was that nice shot. They're getting a few of these shotguns cleaned up. There are a couple on the ground here. One left. It's just Wake. Flo getting some nice spikes in there. But he's able to back up, and he and Sharp are both going to just hang out in that hallway. Flo better watch out. Yep. They're going to just GG it at this point. They're kind of trapped in that little corner on the map. And yeah, I think they started off pretty badly there with that initial lurk egg loss. I mean, that thing couldn't have been too far from hatching. It probably was at like 80% or something. I don't remember if it was scanned. I don't think it was scanned at the time. Just, you know, hey, look, an egg. Let's kill it. Ta-da! It was a lurk. But yeah, first round definitely towards Singularity's favor. Get back into spec here. Let's see. Questions about ping. I have like 30 ping or less because I am close enough to the server that it would be awesome to play on. The pings aren't too horrendous. They are kind of bad for some people. I see that Conquer and Flo both have kind of high-ish ping, and that's up in the low 200s. But some of the people on the East Coast have 100-ish ping too, so it's like, eh. Oh, Wake's crosshairs broke? That's lovely. But yeah, I think just there ended up being possibly too much focus on Nano. I mean, you let them have Nano, say, whatever guys, have Nano, we're gonna like wreck everything. And I don't think there was that much of it. I mean, when I looked at the res graph at 8 minutes, it was, what? Only two extractors down, and it wasn't like there was a lack of extractors. It was like, okay, I think C12 had maybe been taken down and the one in sub. At least I'm assuming that's what it is, 'cause I'm pretty sure that Topo didn't go down, and nor did Overlook or Skylights. It's just the focus became, we need to get Nano rather than let's keep them in Nano and kill everything else. I mean, 'cause as I said, I don't remember seeing. I mean, it's entirely possible that they actually did expand that way, and the sys chain got cleared early. But I don't remember. I remember seeing that the sys chain was like coming through this way and like going through here. But I don't remember seeing the sys chain going over there until much later, like pretty much right after I said that they need to continue expanding. Dude. Alright, so now theoretically Wake has his crosshairs back. Alright. So we'll be waiting up here for round 2 to start. I believe they did ready up? Yeah, Intent did ready up. So we're waiting on Singularity to go and ready up as well. So obviously that first round, I wouldn't be surprised if Intent is shaken a little bit from that, because it was pretty decisively in Singularity's favor. It is possible that maybe they just, as I said, tunnel visioned a bit too much on Nano, and they realized that, and will, try not to do that in the future. But at this point, well, now they're Marines. That round was in the past. It's time for them to move on and try not to, necessarily mess up on this round as well. This is a map that is rather unforgiving. So it's like, okay, if you mess up on this one, well, or you mess, the little mistakes that you make are a lot more. Well, yeah, they can mess you up more. Anyway, it looks like we're going to be moving into round 2 here. in just 3 seconds. So round 2, intent versus singularity. We're seeing a subhive. So as they all get out of there, let's see, are we going to see a gorge? We are going to see a gorge. Sharp just went gorge. Meanwhile, I see Andy's running around there waiting for something. What's he waiting for? Is he just going to go out? Okay, I give up waiting. Oh, nope. Not live. Oh, no. Bad spawn. Alright, theoretically. Let me send a message here. Alright, so theoretically, they're supposed to get the same spawns if, you know, since they did well, basically not live, whatever. It's a just because, well, it's just one of those things. But yeah, there should have been, reading chat again, yeah, something to get the Marine. If they were going to keep throwing people at Nano, they needed to get the Marines out of it first. But I think at a certain point you give up on Nano and just make their other res disappear because, well, they were up to 7 RTs several times, so yeah. They just needed to not have 7 res the entire time. I mean, theoretically, as I said, theoretically, they need to be respawned in substart. I don't know how the command works for it. So I have no idea whether we're gonna have to see a couple of resets here to make that happen or what. But there you go. This is going to be a peaceful match. What's going on? Oh, he wanted the... He hates the killing. Ah, chat. Kane, not paying attention to the rules. That rule's been in there since season 4. He's like, oh, new rules. Nope. Pro tip, read the rules. Alright. It worked out. All good to go. Onward to battle. Alright, they're heading out. This time Andy Burr actually has something to build. Looks like just an arms lab. So they aren't going to worry about mines. They're just probably going to try and play it safe and not send a zillion people to Nano. Looks like it is currently a 2-2 split, so we'll have to see where Andy ends up going after he finishes building that. He's getting quite a bit of sniping going on over there on JJ in the vent. Shades and Wake. Looks like Wake already took a bit of damage too. And Sharp is just scooting along. He's a little gorgy. Going to go put his tunnel over there. Yep, looks like we now have 3 over there in Topo. People are just waiting around, seeing what happens at this point. Tunnel is up in Nano, so that'll be setting up pretty soon. Not really any pressure as of yet. They're just kind of waiting to see what happens. The RT is now built, so both sides of both groups of Marines are going to have to move forward. Conquer gets taken down, but both the skulks there are so chipped you can pretty much sneeze on them and they die. So they're just going to back off. Andy's watching the vent while we got Aeol and Flo moving forward. Shades is way up on the ceiling. There's that little like doohickey that's like right here. He was hiding behind the far end of it. He drops down and is able to take out Aeol. Flo is going to be the next one down, it looks like. And at this point, with Sharp taunting away as a gorge. Andy Burr getting a nice pick down that hallway. Wake's going to go through the vent and they're going to just run in circles here a little bit. They do have armor 1 up at the moment, so they'll be a little bit... They can't have the 2 bites in the parasite thing to kill him, and it's going to take a little bit more little bit more damage. However, obviously, as Mikan takes out Conquer right there, it isn't exactly the hardest thing to do still. I mean, it's early game. They can't totally annihilate Skulks quite yet. Seeing AOL back there, Sharp pushing forward with the group. They are going to... Maybe? Nope. None of that group gets pushed down, and obviously with the Gorge running with them, it makes it really easy for them to continue on and just take another engagement. With Flo on one side of the event and Andy Burr on the other, with two aliens on each, it's going to be really easy for basically both the Marines to get picked. Flo goes into the event. He actually wins that engagement, which I wasn't expecting. He actually picks off the other Skulk too, so a little bit of good vent play there from Flo. Normally, going to the vent often means you're going to get killed. He might actually pick Kane off the ceiling here in the little dome there right outside of West. Yep, he does. So he'll finally be able to reload, and Sharp's going to put up a defensive clog there to slow down AO while he runs the heck away as the little Gorge. Looks like C12 might finally get capped. But Sharp's just going to keep being obnoxious, and we do have a little fight going down here. Looks like Tommy Guns versus JJ, and it looks like Mikan also got taken out. They're up as lurks. We have Wake and Shades up as lurks. We have the Supreme Vent Gorge here. That'd be Sharp. Anyway, looks like Tommy's going to get taken down here by Wake. Shades took out somebody up here in the dome area. A little bit of heals going on there from the Gorge. Shades staying a little bit long there to make sure that he could take out AO, who was building that RT. But Sharp's in there alone now. Whoops. Shades was getting his upgrade, but it looks like Wake might come in with the flank. Oh, and there goes the Gorge. Rest in pieces. However, that RT didn't get built, but whatever. So currently looking at the res graph, nothing's been taken down, but there hasn't been much cap. That one there in C12 almost got built. I mean, it was up to, what, 75%? But at this point, they might actually start losing some RTs. Looks like AOL is going through the vent very quietly. See if he can get in there. He isn't going to be able to save that, though. Cargo has been dropped, so a relatively early second hive. Oh, only like another bullet. One more bullet, and he would have been able to take out Wake. He's barely getting out of there with the little tips on his wings. We'll have to see here what... they are going to be able to finally get up to their fourth RT. Shades poking into East a little bit, deciding against it. Obviously, with the fact that the Gorge went down, it was a little bit... probably a little bit annoying, because it probably would have been a lot better for Singularity to still have the Gorge up and be able to go heal up that hive. But there is that awkward little period of time where the Gorge can't really do much because you don't have quite enough for the hive. Seeing the group of 3 here moving up towards Skylights. They're going to take that down, it looks like. Or set up. I don't know. Say one guy biting res and 2 of them going towards base, probably to just see if they can pounce on Tommy Guns. But yeah, there's that awkward period of time where Gorge isn't exactly all that useful. I mean, there isn't too much for them to build. They can't really fight that well unless they're, like, ridiculous. And so that got cleaned up. So we have Andy Burr and Float. Oh, Float. I can't read or talk. Flo. They're in Enano. They're going to get cleaned up, it looks like. They were able to take out the Crag, I believe, that was in there, and the tunnel as well. But there are assists all over there, so they aren't going to lose really... I mean, okay, sure, they lost the like mobility that the tunnel provided, but they aren't going to have any damage, any extra damage done to that RT, and, you know, resisting over there, and pipes, so... Not too shabby. Shotguns are up. AO's over there getting a little bit of damage over there on Wake. Tommy Gun's coming through as well, hoping that that AO had done enough damage to be able to take down that lurk. He has like no health though, so here we go. They're both moving forward. It is almost. It looks like it. Yeah, it is fade res. So we have JJ turning into a fade right now. Oh. I'm assuming that Mikan will probably be the other fade. But while they're pushing forward, while AOL and Flo are moving forward into East and just kind of holding there, we also have a group of 2 over here in West, but JJ's coming in there. One of them's already dead, and Conquer is going to be next. But the 2 over here in East are still alive. They're just kind of hanging out, and the Lurks are scared to go in, and, you know, obviously Flo and AOL are a little bit scared to go in as well. So they're just kind of holding off there, and they really need to get some more res up for intent. I mean, Singularity is almost up to 6 RTs. I mean, you look at this, they lost one Harvester. Yippee. There really hasn't been that much challenge, or that much, as far as like challenge to the res goes. They've just been let to, just sort of take all the res. They're not being particularly aggressive in the early part of the game. Looks like Mikon really is going to be a fade here momentarily. I think. Yep, there we go. He just hatched. JJ's trying to bait out some bullets, it looks like. I mean, because everybody's pretty much grouped up over there. They're like, okay, so are we gonna like take these guys or what? So there goes Flo and Ale into there. There is a whip and a crag. They're both just trying to melt that crag. Crag is down. The whip is still up. But at this point, they're standing on infestation, and they're a little bit too close to that whip. They really need to get to the other side of their room as they're going to go down here. I think they were just within the range of that whip, so that wasn't helping them at all. Taking the chip damage from that. That's just a little bit of a positioning issue in there. I mean, yeah, sure, they want to like be able to take the whip out, but just being too close to something that does damage with it only a specified short little range, not good. Alright, they got cleared out of here in Skylights, and that RT will go down. It's going to be a little while before Sharp would be able to go Onos. But at this point, it's not looking like Intent is going to necessarily have the res to be able to do much of anything beyond that. Unless they can get some nice lifeform kills, which is entirely possible will happen here. But at this point, they're just not grouping up quite enough to be able to do that. Though, who was that? That was Shades that just flew right in as a lurk. He might actually get melted, and he does go down. So I'm not quite sure why he went in there. There were 3 Marines just standing there in a group, and nobody else went in. He was coming in from the opposite direction. Everybody else was down there around the corner, so whoops, whatever. They don't need an extra lurk anyway. You really only need one past a certain point. As long as that one lurk stays alive, so you have somebody to use Umbra later, no big deal. They did go Shade Hive as their second hive, so they now also have hallucinations, and with Aura up as well. That'll definitely be really handy for them to be able to pick out the other, pick out the random solo Marines or the one that has low health, along with the fact that with that, guess what? Oh gosh, JJ got really low there in that. Along with the fact that, you can't really hide around corners anymore. Because chances are all the higher life forms will probably have that. As you can see, JJ and Mikon both have Aura up. So does Wake. You aren't going to be able to just randomly, hide around a corner and wait for somebody to show up. They're going to spot you. They're going to be, hey, there's a dude just like hiding around that corner. How silly, we have Aura. But it'd be one thing if both the Fades or something went silence, which I don't know. Some people have been doing recently, but it obviously has its issues, namely that you can't see when somebody's trying to hunt you down like that. Ale almost going down, maybe not. Shade's moving in, Shade's going down. Ale almost dying again. And they're just going to give up and go out of that, because guess what? We have 2 guys moving down the left side of the map. They're actually separated, which is bad, especially since Conqueror has a shotgun. I mean, he really needs to be with a friend, just so that way, well, he isn't going to get swarmed. They started on that RT there in Overlook, but that's not going to get built at this point. Conqueror's going to actually have problems of his own there as Mikon runs in. And here comes Shades, just easily taking him down while he was reloading. Silence, however, is obviously favored for skulks just because, well, a skulk comes flying out of nowhere. And, you're normally listening for the little tappy tap of happy little skulk feet. And without hearing them, well, they just like magically apparate if you forget to check a corner and then suddenly the back of your head is being ripped off. Ale's all alone there. Everybody went into C12 chasing the skulk or something. Either way, one of them's down now, and Flo just got taken down who had a shotgun, and just that giant swarm of life forms is going to mutilate whoever that was left. So Andy Burr with a shotgun all by himself again. He's going to get a little bit of damage on Sharp. Sharp obviously knows that he's the shotgun now. He might actually get taken, maybe not. All those hallucinations definitely help to try and just make the bullets go to very unuseful things. They're going to run the heck away. The third hive has just been dropped, so obviously, I mean, I don't think Pipe has even really been challenged. They've just been stuck in this top half of the map. I mean, look at that. They lost one RT for like 10 seconds, and then the other one grew. And Wake actually just went down right over here somewhere when I was looking at the graph, I think it was. So they're out of lurks, but guess what? Sharp is at 56 res. He can go Onos. Oh, they're just going to GG. They were just a little bit short there of having the Onos up on the field. But at this point, it definitely looks like Singularity is... I don't know. Well, we're done with this map, and I believe we're going to have to switch servers. But at this point, Singularity is definitely looking like the favorites to win this. And so we're just waiting for people to give up here. The game is not over until everybody leaves. So just waiting on Andy Burr, who is somewhere. He's down there having fun with whips. That's a lot of whips. Where did all those whips come from? Kane's just like dropping whips just because they're there. It's like, here, have a whip. Okay, he's finally dead. Is he gonna F4? Okay, he does F4. Sharp is like, hey, but I got my Onos. And both the lurks could have re-lurked quite easily, so it was pretty much no question that they were going to be able to. Heck, Wake was, by the end, when the banner finally came up, he was almost up to Onos Res 2. So now I believe we are going to be switching servers, and hopefully we'll get the info for that very shortly. Off to Oz. So let's see where they go. Alright, so I don't think it was too particularly surprising as far as the results go. I know that, as I said, Intent has had a few more weeks practice with real matches just because the Australian season did start before the NSL season did. But the spread this season, it seems like the spreads and skill levels within the divisions are pretty wide. They're much wider than they have been in other seasons, just, I don't know, because of who signed up, I guess. So Div 1 has some teams that, maybe versus last season's seedings would have been Div 2, but I think it's definitely a closer game than we would have seen if it had been, last season's Intent versus last season's Singularity kind of thing, too. I did show the res graph. Kill graph? Forget that. What's going on here? Nice gorge aggression. He was more aggressive than our skulks. Yes, that was... I think that's pretty true there. We'll have to see here what server we are going to be going to. We still have everybody in here? Yeah. Let's see. I don't know. These guys need to head there and tell me where we're going. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Joining something server. I'm going to miss the server because I have like 28 ping right now. I saw it down to like 17 earlier. I like the server. It means that it would be pretty awesome to play on, as I think I said before, but oh well. Farewell, good ping. It is time to cross the ocean to wherever the heck we're going. Let's see here if I can find out who is on the other server. I don't think I have any of the people that are on the other server right now actually on my list. Maybe. Maybe not. What's the password? Okay, got the password. Whoa, that was kind of loud. Somebody hit the wrong button there, I'm assuming. Yeah, it will be interesting to see how much of a difference ping has, because obviously a lot of the NA teams basically, they play a lot more with other NA teams than they do at least in these groups. I mean, Titus obviously doesn't have much of a choice but to play with EU teams, which would be roughly the same amount of ping, just like, rounding numbers, kind of that kind of thing. But I know a lot of the Oz teams just play with Oz teams, and a lot of the NA teams mostly play with NA teams. So having that much of a ping difference isn't, exactly what they're used to. So we'll see how that affects this round. We're obviously going on to Descent now, waiting for everybody to show up. Oh no, the Aussies like Descent. I am not fond of Descent. I've had way too many bad games on it that it is traumatic. So we'll see how it goes. Can't even load the video. I don't know why the video couldn't load. I did lower the bitrate, but obviously if you can't load the video, you can't hear me, saying stuff about it. So assuming that's somebody alt tabbing. Look at that hideous ping. I'm hoping people are alt tabbed because it looks really bad. These pings are legal. Well, this will be interesting. I can bend my corner, but it's around 3 corners. I mean, I'm getting 189 ping. I'm trying to remember what I got when I was in the draft tournament. It might be a little bit high. Okay, it is even on the east side of Australia, so I don't know. It's pretty bad. Australian internet is infamous for being bad, so that could be part of it. Who knows? Somebody in chat saying NS2 comp play doesn't happen anymore. Okay, if you haven't been paying attention, Season 5 started, like a week ago. America. What's going on? Alright, so are they swapping servers? What's going on here? I don't know what's going on. I think the Singularity also might have a few more, like, East Coast US players or East Coast North America players. So they're the ones with the really stupid ping. Let's see, Shades is one of them. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's some issues. All right, so we'll have to see what's going to go on here, whether we're going to just play on this and see the disaster or what not. Because this is some pretty high ping. I'm pretty sure that most people don't generally like playing with 250 ping. I mean, most of the time, if you're trying to get like a middle range server, I mean, you try not to go much over 250 at the very most. 220, that'd be like a good top end before you start getting really stupid and people start complaining that your ping is too high, so you're annoying. We'll see what happens here. Kane says the other one may be better. Okay, what's the other server? Where's Kane? View game info. Oh yeah, its ping actually does look a little bit better, maybe. Oops. Oops. I typed the password wrong. At least I'm assuming it's the password. Yep, I messed up the password. Okay, there we go. At least I'm hoping that's the password, because if it's not the password, then I don't know the password. Yes, it was the password. Alright, let me AFK one moment here and put the parakeet to bed while this loads, so 1 second here. All right. So pings look a lot better on this one, just taking a look now. A lot less red going on. Shades has almost 300 ping, but everybody else is still in the yellow, so that's a lot better. We are obviously changing the map now because Biodome is not that weak. So obviously it'll definitely be something to look at. I know that there have been more servers that have been put onto the list recently, so we'll have to see if those would have. I don't remember where they all are. I know there's the one in Los Angeles, which we were just on. I don't remember if there's one in Australia. I know there's one that was like in Singapore or something. But we'll have to see if there's anything else. All right. Alrighty, so as my computer takes forever to load in the actual texture on the minimap, here we are finally, maybe, with reasonable pings, except for not right now. They did look a little bit better before the map changed. So who knows? Yeah, it actually does look a little bit better now. Before it had been, what, two that were still in yellow, and the rest were all in that ugly orange, and now it's only two that are in the ugly orange, and Mikon's looks a little bit too high, so he might be alt-tabbed. Who knows? Yep, and people are talking about ping. Yeah, as Zeph just said, you need to either agree on one server, or you swap between them. And it may be something that in the future, if you are in one of the Div 1 teams, and you're going to be playing Intent, which I believe is the only Australian team at this point, that, oh, I guess Mikon really isn't alt-tabbed. Oh no. Oh no. That, maybe you do play on a West Coast server and just call it good. That also is actually the same for NA versus EU teams, is if you know that you have a lot of like West Coast US players, well, maybe just decide that you guys are going to play on an East Coast server and just call it good and just not switch servers. That's one of the things that I think is definitely something good to do, especially if you're not used to playing on high ping. That is something that if you think there's a chance that you might have to play on, a freaking Euro server if you're in North America somewhere. Well, maybe we should go practice on some European servers, sometime this weekend. Maybe go tomorrow morning when the Euro servers are up and active. Go onto the Euro servers, crash around a bit, figure out how that ping feels, or just talk to or when you're setting up matches, just talk to the guy on the other team. Say, hey, we want to play on NA East servers because that way everybody will have about 100 ping or whatever, unless your whole team is East Coast. In which case, come on, guys, go switch back and forth so one team doesn't permanently have an advantage. But anyway, let's see, what were people saying there? Yeah, I think that the Switch servers might have helped a couple of people, or by couple, I literally mean two of these people on Singularity side, but the other, oh, never mind, as Kane's ping shoots up as well. But it's slightly better, but by slightly, it really is slightly. But I think before we swapped that Kane was just like, oh, whatever, we're okay with it, I guess, so... I mean, it's really up to as was mentioned, it is up to the teams to figure it out. And it sounded like both teams were pretty much willing to play on whatever. So we're just gonna, it looks like we're gonna be staying on here. Obviously, let's look at Descent, the lovely mini map here. Um, it is kind of a huge map. So I'll move away so we don't hear the skulk biting everything. It's kind of a huge map. You have the choice of the spawns north or south versus east or west, and the ones that are east or west kind of have these vents here that are mildly annoying and make things prone to base rushes. I don't know whether if they do end up with the horizontal spawns, if they will go, whoever's Marines at the time will want to get mines, but it is something to consider because, well, yeah, base rushes. If you're over there pushing gravity control and you started in monorail and there are suddenly a billion skulks, well, some mines might help because there is no quick way back there. You have to run like all this way over here. And it looks like we're going to be getting this first round here. So here we go, round 1 on Descent, round 3 overall of Intent for Singularity. And we are going to see those horizontal spawns with, you know, Marines starting monorail. I'd been using that as just a theoretical thing, but it's actually what's going to happen. We are going to see an armory going up right over there in the corner. So they're going to get some mines on the ground there so they don't have to worry. We actually do see a little Gorgie there. That'll be Conquer. He's sitting around. I don't know what he's waiting for, but he's waiting for something. Having a little bit of fight over here in Hydro. It's 2v2, Sharp and Shades versus Andy Burr and Flo. Flo's kind of on the wrong side of the room to be able to help out too much. There is quite a few things there in the ceiling. It looks like he's actually maybe going to get picked off, especially since Andy's still in the vent. Oh, I didn't quite make it back in. There is that vent over there. We'll swoop into the room. He was trying to make it back into that vent, but he wasn't quite able to do it. Looks like Andy might be able to get some parasites. He actually did get one on Sharp, so those guys there in Hydro have been spotted. Let's go back into top view here. Mekon going through the hallway down there from observation to, I guess it's satellite relay. That's actually a room with a name. How about that? Anyway, Tommy Guns is just going to sit there in that vent. They do have mines now in base, right around the IP. Nothing else, so somebody still has another mine they can put wherever. Ale's going to get, he's going to hide on top of the thingy there in the middle of Energy Flow. They actually went Shade Hive, which is definitely one of the ones that I think is favored in this map because not many people play it as much, so it's a lot easier to find places to hide, especially, you know, with cloaking. So he's the only one who actually does have cloaking at this point, so he might be able to just drop down on JJ's head and, you know, bite it off. Everybody else went silent. They do have all 3 veils right now, so that'll definitely, they do have full silence then, which means that it's going to be a lot harder to tell when those skulks are coming. Conquer is going to run away. It looks like he might have been heading over there to maybe put a tunnel down up in Fabrication, but looks like he changed his mind. He's going to wait for Pinocchio, who jumped out of the hive and is going to run on up there. Everybody has silence now. Pinocchio he actually got so close there that he was able to just sort of pounce upon JJ before I think JJ even knew what was happening. But then again, that could also be ping issues. So are we going to see a tunnel? Yep, there's the tunnel. Anyway, we're seeing a fight down here in observation, and that did get cleared. I don't think was that an actual RT? That was an actual RT that I think went down there in observation. The bottom half of the map is going to have some issues here res-wise. We're going to see Flo working on that RT, and meanwhile over here in Gravity, that one hasn't even been dropped yet. But Mekon's on his own, and versus Skulks that are, you know, kind of silent. It's a little bit nerve-wracking to be on your own because you don't know whether you're going to like walk past a vent and then have this Skulk, you know, jump out and land on your head or whatnot. But at this point, he ran back to try and chase the Skulk off the RT, and well, Flo's over here in the ceiling over in the hallway. Up here at the north, looks like we just had another Marine go down. That tunnel got taken down, it looks like. So that was definitely very good for Singularity because, well, that's, what, 3 res that got taken away from the Gorge player? And if that Gorge is really going to be their Onos later on, well, that's 3 res longer that it'll take them to be able to get to that Onos. So 5 RTs up for Singularity at this point. Not too bad at all for them. Looks like they're going to get a Crag up here in Fabrication, but Plaza's blinking, so obviously somebody was over there being obnoxious and killing cysts a little bit ago. Shades is down here in Gravity, just clearing things up there. But Flo's, again, working on the power over here in, what is that, Drone Bay? Tommy Guns is in there as well, but he's rather hurt. So Tommy Guns might go down. Actually, they both get taken down, and that's a fair amount of health still left on that power node, so Shades should be able to recap that, no problem. There's nobody even nearby. But Andy Burr is up his lurk this time. He did not get killed by Shades sneaking into the hive, so I'm sure he's happy about that. Mekon is also running into the room, so he's going to see Andy Burr coming down the hallway and actually get spiked at. Looks like Shades is going to finish that RT, so they're going to have the res income from that. And they're going to chase the lurk out of there. Meanwhile, up here in Fabrication, we have Sharp and JJ standing up here towards the tech point. You can see that huge distance they have here that obviously Skulks and such will have to cross, and that'll be pretty rough until they, you know, have a lurk run up there. Um, they also have a mine, so if they do get chased, they can just run over in that direction and stand on the mine, and hopefully whatever they step, when a skulk lands on it, just everything will explode and die. They do have Tommy guns up there now, so I have to see what he ends up doing. They have a Gorge and a Gorgeous Skulk and a Lurk all up there. Tommy Guns is going to move in, get a bite on JJ, who's going to go down. Now it's just Sharp. Here comes Flo as well. Nobody trips on the mine. They parasited it, though, just to make sure. They're going to swoop on out of there. Meanwhile, down here in Gravity, they are going to try and get the power up there. With, what is that, Weapons 1 researching at the moment. They already have phase tech, so they're going to start and try and get that phase gate up, because that's a really good forward position. I mean, it prevents not only intent from capping that RT, but it basically means that, guess what, you have Marines on your doorstep. Have fun with that. I mean, at this point, they have, what, 3 RTs versus 6, so Singularity is not hurting for res. They've sort of run away with it, even though at this point, they do have less overall kills. But kills are not the only thing in this game. The economy of the game is much more important. You can kill everything, but if you have no RTs while you kill everything, or you have no, or kill, yeah, when I say kill everything, I mean all the players. But if you have like no RTs while you do so, well, guess what? You're just not going to be able to get the upgrades, and you're not going to be able to ultimately win the game unless you, rush a hive or whatever. But if they have all the upgrades, well, it's going to just get harder and harder to kill everything. So a few cysts have been cleared up here in Fabrication, but not too bad. We're seeing stuff blinking down here. It looks like Mikon was able to defend the gate. And they're actually getting sentries up in there. You saw the Robo get dropped. It's right over here. Oops. So they're pretty much just setting up so that way they can have that pretty well defended. I mean, it's, what, 6 res away from Fades at this point? JJ's running away there. Maybe hunted by Tommy Guns and Andy Burr. Running over there. The phase gate has been dropped. Here comes Shades as well. I don't know whether Tommy Guns was having some internet problems, or maybe I was, but either way, he was sort of jittering there a little bit. JJ's getting meds. He gets taken down at last. They do already have the power node built there, so if they can just get somebody in there at the right time and get that phase gate up, that'll definitely lock down a whole chunk of the map again. It'll make it so that, okay, they'll pretty much locking the aliens onto, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4-ish RTs? 3 or 4, depending on whether or not you count energy flow. Getting a scan in there for Awakened Shades, who are going to rush on in and try and take down Flo. Aol is coming from the other side, but then again, so are JJ and Mikon. It looks like they may actually, I don't know whether they are going to try and get that gate up. Actually, the other two went into energy flow instead of continuing down into, what is that, water treatment? Aol is escaping to fight another day. There's nobody down there at the gate at the moment, but they do have the turrets, so that's, pretty good defense right there. They're just kind of keeping the Lurk busy over there, and any skulk that pokes their head down that hallway, I believe is going to get hit, by this turret, I think, or one of these. I'm sure that Kane knows how to set up the turrets correctly, so that if some skulk pokes their head down that hallway, they're going to get shot at. I'm pretty confident on that. They still have the Gorge up, too, which is potentially pretty handy, depending on where the Gorge is positioned in relative to everyone. Shades didn't get a med pack there, so he ended up going down. Wake takes down one of the skulks, but the other two still have health. So they're going to survive to fight another day. But we have JJ and Mikon up here in Fabrication again. JJ was perhaps a little bit too far forward there. But they didn't. Mikon ended up taking down Aol, and Eddie Burr's just like right around the wall there. They're going to wait for Tommy Guns to move in as well. They may maybe take down JJ. Not quite. That'll be really easy. That should be a... Nope. Here come the med packs. Tommy Guns better not overcommit as that Lurk. Because that is... I mean, they do have Fades up at the moment. They do have a Fade up. That'll be Flo. So they have him up at the moment. And I'm assuming we'll see another Fade up too. They're going to actually get the gate up there in Fabrication, which, putting a gate on in a tech point isn't always... Oh, the Gorge goes down. But, putting gates on tech points is pretty defensive unless it's like the one in the center of the map, because that obviously gives you position to go pretty much everywhere. So I'm assuming that at this point they put that gate there so that way they'll be able to get to that section of map, and they'll probably move it forward to Plaza because that'll be a lot better for them, or a lot, easier for them to block this path. Because if you look at the map, I mean, this one blocks the south half of the map. If they put something in Plaza, then that'll pretty much block off this the northern part of the map. As you can see, there's the gate. So they have the one in Fabrication as their backup, and they're already recycling it, I think. Or, no, never mind. It was just that one connecting to the network. And they're going to put sentries up there too. So basically at this point, they're just trying to lock down these positions. Yeah, there goes the one in fabrication. They've recycled it. Both fades are up. Ale and also Flo, they're going to go after Mikan. The gate is up though, so Wake comes through with a shotgun. However, he's going to get maybe melted. Maybe. Yep. The sentries did not get finished, so that's going to be all the life forms right there on the gate. They probably shouldn't have actually recycled the one that was up in fabrication until, you know, they had the sentries up as well, because that sentry that had been there was pretty much useless, and they're all going to take down that power because they do not want to let that happen. Because if that gate had gotten up, that would mean that they were pretty much trapped, aside from our friend the Vent. Our friend the Vent, but we just lost Flo over there as Sharp chased him into the hive with a shotgun. However, now he's kind of surrounded by everything, so they're taking down a Marine worth 20 P-Res, and they lost a life form worth 35. Not exactly the most fair trade. They did get the gate up in Hydro, so that'll securely lock down the bottom right corner of the map, give them a good position to launch themselves forward up towards Plaza, but they just dropped the hive up there in fabrication, or they did very recently. And Mikan had found it. They know it's there, but there's a gorge on it because Conquer has not died. Or no, he did die. I guess he regorged. I think he was already... I think he died. I think I remember him dying in Plaza. Anyway, there are 3 Marines now scooting along right back into Plaza. Since they do actually theoretically still have a robo, they could even, you know, build a phase gate if they got really desperate and just, you know, power surge it. But I think at this point, if they don't split up and all die, which is very dangerous at this point, they do not want to, like, take that chance and die again. They need to clear those assists so they don't cause too much damage to those turrets, but they also need to make sure they don't, as I say, end up dying. But some combination of turrets and phase gate will end up locking that down for them. That hive is still building. It's at 57%. They still have the gorge on it, so that'll make that happen a lot faster. Take a quick look. Just getting some heals. There hasn't been much activity on the res biting front. Mikan's going to go poke at the hive and maybe see if he could snipe the gorge. Oh, that was a nice little jitter there. I can see the gorge go down. Gorge down. So that hive is currently undefended. Looks like the turrets, did they get built? They didn't quite get built, again, but they got cleared out of Plaza. Mikan's still in there, but he's getting spiked by the lurk. The Fade is also hurt, so he can't really take that battle. So they may end up losing this hive, but it's at 85% and still at 82% health. But each one of those hits, let's see, 78, 75, it's 3% about health-wise. I mean, it's still gaining health, I believe, as it's, you know, growing. But they have more important things called, you know, more Marines right outside the base. But they do need to clear that if they're expecting to be able to hold that hive. I mean, and now they have Wake up there as well. It's 2 Marines, and they're going to pull a Skulk, a Fade, and a Lurk all up there to try and get these Marines out of there so they can get their second hive. They just need to be very careful to not lose that other Fade now. And the arc factory has been completed, so they're pretty much figuring they'll just arc that and call it good, because this is a nice spot. You know, you only have to move the arcs to, I think, about here somewhere? I don't know. Somewhere in that range, they'll be able to arc the hive. And if they're able to actually take down the one that's up in fabrication, but it's at 97%, so it doesn't look like it, they better have a Crag up there building. Looks like they're just going to get the hive up. Yep, fabrication is done. Marines getting cleared. Sharp trying to run away while he gets spiked to death by Tommy guns. Here comes Ale to try and land those last couple swipes. Oh, he has like no health. He has like 1 HP. Okay, there we go. Tommy guns cleans that up. Wake running in to try and possibly save the shotguns, maybe pinch a life for him. He's going to be able to save that gear there on the ground and then probably get the heck out. Here come the other arcs. They're just being prepped. Hey, look, Mikan's in the hive again. There isn't a Crag in there, so that hive really needs somebody to come save it. It's at 24%, 23, 21. It's not mature either, so I believe that also gives it less health. And he got cleared up. Where's that? They really need that that extractor, or not extractor. I was looking at the harvester count, but they are starting to arc. There's some mines around the arcs. Oh, that's closer than I thought it had to be. Whatever, it's just barely hit. It must just barely be on the edge of the hive there. One Fade down. That is the problem here. You start getting desperate and so you end up throwing your life forms. But at this point, also a Lurk down. They're losing all their life forms and I'm lagging slightly apparently. There goes that hive. Meanwhile, up here, this one is at 19%. So they're just going to go through there and clean that all up. They have 2 veils left. Just cleaning stuff up. People are becoming alive and trying to run away. 1 egg left in launch. Everybody else is going to spawn up in fabrication. The gate over here looks like it was slightly under attack, but Shades phased through and was after him there. Veils are going to get completely destroyed, because not only are they not on infestation as far as I could see briefly there, but, well, they kind of have 2 Marines killing them. Mekon's up there. He is going to get meted. They still are up to 4 RTs. Obviously, you can see there was a little bit of res biting going on, but not terribly much. And I think that's probably where things got out of control. And because, look, you can see that the aliens got more kills overall. But it's just the fact they never had the economy. The Marines, however, had the economy. As you can see, it's okay for the aliens to have less res. But it's like, okay, you want the aliens to have, 2 res while you have 3, not, the aliens having 2 while the Marines have, 5. That means as an alien, you're probably going to get destroyed unless you are able to, pull something off where you just, rush at them and just destroy everything. I mean, there have been times where it looks like it's going to be an easy win. I mean, especially if it was on Vale, it'd be like, it looks like it's going to be an easy win for the Marines just based on the first engagements. And then they mess up and there was a base rush or something. But yeah, they're just going to GG it, and so that'll be, 3 for Singularity? You can see they just recycled the gate down there in Gravity, so they were going to move that one up, and Fabrication goes down. Tizova. Well, that one. So we have 1 more round. I don't know why I spawned up on the wall. That was pretty awesome. Just like over here on this little thingy. How cool. Let's go back into spec, though. That is true. They did go Shade Hive first. They could have been inking, and I don't think they were. I don't know. I mean, that was one of the things I'm not used to thinking of aliens having Shade Hive, because, I don't know, I just never do it as a commander for the most part, unless it's like endgame. Well, okay, I guess, yeah, once the second hive is up, and the second hive was barely up. They needed that res, though. They needed that other RT. I believe they were on fairly low res at that point, because I remember they only had the one up in Fabrication. I know Mega's probably going to get told off for this by the time that you guys hear it, but no, it's not easier getting res for the life forms. It's the same exact timing, just all the numbers are different. It's why you have 5 less res in the beginning and 5 less res in all the life forms. That initial res, initial res reduction means that all the timings are the same. So if you've been holding if you've been holding the res, or holding the same amount of res, no matter before or after they made that change, you'd end up with the lurks and fades out at the same time. He made the same mistake. I'm guessing they're getting to the arcing. Anyway, Kane is ready to go for Singularity. So Singularity is ready to go whenever the heck Intent is ready to go. So will be the final round for this match. It, of course, was not a best of 4. It is just 4 rounds, period. Which is how all these initial, what is it, like between 7 to 10 weeks of matches go. Some of them, the amount of matches varies per division, but, yeah, the amount of, these initial matches, they're all just 4 rounds. And then it'll be the semifinals and finals, depending on, how many there are or whatnot, will all be best of whatever number. Alright, so we're just waiting around for this last round. And I'll take this moment to say there are going to be like a ton of games this weekend. There's, I can't remember if it's just 1 game tomorrow or like 2, but there's at least 1 game tomorrow because I know I'm casting it. It might be 2. There's going to be like I don't know, like 5 games on Sunday. It's a lot. There's gonna be one that's be Intent versus On Fire. There's gonna be Titus versus Sonoman. There's gonna be, oh gosh, who is it versus Taifik? There's at least, and then there's Destiny's Child versus Combo Breaker, and I can't remember everything. There's Power Up versus Leftovers. I don't know. There's a lot of matches going on. You could go to ensl.org. They're all there on the right-hand column. And if you log in, guess what? If you set up your time zone correctly, they're all in your time zone. You don't have to think about what time to do time zone math, because time zone math is evil. So go check those out. I think there's still a couple that don't have streams at the moment. Hopefully by the time that they happen, they will actually have somebody casting. I know that the ones for tomorrow do have casters. Let me alt tab and just check it real quick because I feel silly not knowing all this because I was the one who put it on the calendar. I'm just hoping that they don't ready up while I'm alt tabbed. Yeah, tomorrow is a certain Vermin versus Diamond Gamers. Ixian's casting that. He can tell you what time it is. And yeah, Singularity versus Narcolepsy is basically tomorrow, 2 hours before this one started. So that those will be the next 2 matches. As I said, there's a bunch on Sunday, so rather than spending forever trying to remember just who's casting what out of those like 5, just go to the NSL website and check those out. Let's see, what are people talking about? Oh, I guess Ixian forgetting about ink or something. Yeah, there was a shade in there. It was, what, right here? I think. Either way, they didn't have enough res to be able to really defend on that. I mean, it was good that they got the other hive up. It was just too late by then. I think that maybe I have to go back. I'm hoping that they'll be able to go back and look at the replay there. But I think that maybe just the res biting not happening is possibly something that needs to be worked on for Intent. We'll see how Singularity does. And here we are. We're going to go live here in 15 seconds. We'll see how Singularity does with biting res. I'll take a look at that and make sure. But I think that, let's just see what happens here, whether we're going to see Shade Hive again or not. Here we go. 2 seconds until the final round. North-south spawns this time. So I have to see whether or not we're going to get an armory going up here. Nope, second IP, maybe. Having a little bit of chaos there with the splits, but hey, they got out of base. We're going to see Sharp as the Gorge again. He's going to go wandering along probably once he drops his tunnel there, building that. Seeing Flow and Nail over here in Energy Flow. Shades is going to just run on in there, get a Parasite, while Wake is coming from Wake is kind of on the other side there, so they may actually be able to just sort of sandwich him there. But he's going to back up, and they're going to get that RT. Mines have been started, so they did drop in an armory as well. So I'm curious to see where that tunnel is going to end up going. It looks like we're going to have the Gorge building the RT over there in Observation. Looks like the Gorge actually went and built Veils, so we are going to see another starting Shade Hive. So it'll be interesting to see how Singularity plays with that. We do already have 3 Skulks with Silence at this point, with the full 3 Veils to start with. Well, Wake is already being annoying in base, saying, hello, you want to jump out of the chair, right? Come on, come play. Pinocchio jumps out of the chair, and he takes down Wake. Tommy Guns was running back though, so that wasn't exactly much of a problem. We just needed to delay him enough so that even if he did get completely wrecked in 0.2 seconds, that somebody else would be able to save the base. However, we have 2 Skulks over in Plaza, and that RT is going to get completely destroyed. We have 2 in Hydra though, so that's just Kane over there going through the vent though, so him by himself probably not going to win against 2 Marines, unless they aren't paying any attention whatsoever. But he does have Silence, I think, so I guess him a little bit of advantage. Well, here comes Wake as well. He's going to move in. Engagement has been called. Kane goes... nope, Kane's still alive. It was Wake who went down. Okay, he goes down. They took down one of the Marines, so not too bad. They delayed that RT going up just a little bit. Gord Spit taking down Andy Burr. Not too much on the expansion as far as Singularity goes as of yet, but that's partially because, guess what? They have a Gorge. They have the 3 Veils already built, so that's a good chunk of res that's already been taken up. It looks like they're going to just use the, they're using the tunnel to expand, though it looks like they're also assisting up there, so A little bit of both. So I'm assuming that they might be maybe trying to get Monorail as their second hive since they do have the tunnel up there. Since they do have the since that is sort of next door to it, it isn't exactly like the a like amazing positional advantage. Just because, well, it's only kind of around the corner in a sense. But that'll definitely help them out as far. Oh. And Conquer takes down all those skulks. What are we seeing over here? We're seeing the RT and Hydro also getting bitten down while two skulks are heading up here. That'll be Kane and JJ moving up to run into Tommy Guns, who's going to run right around the corner. See JJ and Kane will drop down from above and maybe take him down. Andy Burr is still there. They both have enough health that they may be able to take him down. JJ does. They'll be able to move forward up towards Plaza and possibly take down the RT up there if Flo does not turn around and run back. But it looks like he's going to go recap Hydro. We're having a battle over here in Monorail. The tunnel actually got taken down to about half health. There's a lot of clogs right around there. Looks like we did lose the Gorge. Rest in pieces. Who was that? That was Sharp. What happened? Did Wake kill him? Yeah, Wake killed Shades. How terrible. Alright, so got Sharp and Wake taking them down the RT. Oh! Hello, mine! Rest in peace, Wake. But again, taking a look at the res graph, 6 RTs down in 4 minutes. That's a really good rate. I mean, the rule of thumb is 1 per minute. And that's what? That's 2 RTs over the rule of thumb. So if they keep this up, well, Intent's gonna run out of res. They're already out of res. They have 1 res in they have 1 T-res in their bank. And it's past lurk timing. Hey guys, you were late on your lurks. Or no? No, never mind. Oh yeah, you guys were late on your lurks. Come on, guys. So we see Wake Up as a lurk. Shades swooping on in there. Well, they didn't really need it. It wasn't that much of a big deal. They have considerable advantage at this time. I mean, they're keeping up res-wise. You can see, I mean, it doesn't matter as long as the aliens have slightly less. But look at the slopes of those lines. Aliens are going to cross that line, no problem, because it's 3 RTs versus 4. Wake taking a moment to blow up some mines so he doesn't, back up into one. There's still the one more right there, but Wake sees it. So hopefully he's not close enough to get blown up. He's okay, so he's out of there, no problem. -1 skulk in that engagement, but that's no problem. Andy Burr is parasited, and Wake does have aura, so yeah, no problem whatsoever. A couple mines there, both on the ceiling. What's he saying? Audi? I don't know. Anyway, we're seeing people swooping around. We already had the drum. Wait, that was the starting hive. What am I talking about? We're seeing the it's sort of set up here. I see the drifters just sitting there around the corner, so I think that might be waiting for a hive. Giant engagement in Monorail. Both the lurks. Shade's missing a couple bites there, but they both got down to about to losing their armor. There's the hive in Monorail. So they have both their what is it? Both their lurks lost their armor in that fight, but it wasn't too much of an issue. Taking another look. See, it's caught up. Okay, 4v4. The slopes of the lines are now parallel again. Mikon's gonna die in that fight, but Shades is still alive, still has plenty of energy. However, he might end up dying if he ends up getting hit by just the right pistols. He's able to duck out of there using the broken windows and all that jazz to be able to leave. Oh, okay, there's an extra person on the server. That's what they were talking about. I was confused. That is not a name I recognize. Anyway, engagement in gravity. RT gets poofed, Marines get destroyed. Here comes Flo. He's gonna get a lot of damage onto Wake. Oops. Shades also loses his armor, but not nearly as hurt as Wake. He's gonna go back and hide. But we have blinking going on over here at the new hive. The drifter has been killed. We have Conquered and Andy Burr. Everybody's popping through there. Here's Kane out of the hive. Here's Shades. They do have a Crag over there, and they're just going to back out, which is probably the wise choice just because, well, they're going to end up getting destroyed in this way. If they pull them away, they don't have the Crag healing. Well, they're going to get killed anyway. They are having shotguns researching Armor 2 researching. They don't even have weapons 1 yet. I'm assuming that'll be next on the list if they're able to hold on to this res, which they still have 4 RTs, which is not bad at all. I mean, this is a huge map with a lot of res, and the RTs aren't exactly close together. They feel like they're a million miles apart. But 2 more have just been dropped by Singularity, so they're going to be up to 5 RTs once those finish building. They have drifters next to them, so they're just kind of like rolling in res at this point. They're up to fade res now too. They don't have the biomass quite yet for metabolize. That's currently researching, but once that third biomass is done, that'll be time to get metabolized, and their fades will be up by then, and hopefully not flash. So fingers crossed for them. However, thing of the moment is to see whether or not, okay, they do win that engagement down there, and let's see what's going on down here. Shade's almost getting taken down in gravity. They have a nice tasty free RT to kill there. It isn't even built yet. They're getting phase tech. So I think they've decided that, being able to hold positions on the map is probably the more important thing. That drifter actually just got run in from, I think, Hydro, but, well, that was kind of silly. It would just died a poor, horrible death. And here comes the battle into here. I think they're not picking necessarily the same target kit because we had JJ getting chipped, we had Shades getting chipped, but neither enough to be able to actually kill anything. JJ is the one fade at the moment. We'll probably be seeing another one here at some point. Maybe. Possibly. Come on, guys. Where's the other fade? I know you have one. Anyway, the battle for Hydro going on now. Metabolize finally started. A little bit of chip damage on Shades. He's very low on armor, but he's getting a lot of spike damage. Shotgun picked up. Wasn't able to get really any damage onto to JJ, who now just ducked out of the room. He was missing a little bit of armor, but it wasn't too bad. Looks like they're actually going to get flanked here, but they have been spotted. Wake diving in rather boldly. Shots missed though. Everybody's all split up. It looks like they're really wanting to get a Hydro Gate up. But the problem is with the power down, it's going to take a lot longer. And obviously they've left their base now pretty much uncovered. So they're going to have a fade and a skulk heading up to base. And Flo's actually moving into not exactly the greatest position in the room. However, he's gotten JJ's armor off. But, okay, yeah, there's still a lot of mines in base. So they're all going to be sitting there, Wake's on the ceiling, just spiking them up. Have everybody working on that phase gate so they don't have to beacon. Where's the one in base? Oh, there it is. Hello! Look, the phase gate's up. Tommy Guns goes down. He had almost, yeah, basically no health. The skulks have been cleared, but the one down here is blinking because Shades is sitting on the gate. He's going up through the vent. They're going to have to clear that cyst there because guess what? That's hurting the gate. And if they, whoops, he got spiked. He didn't get a med pack or didn't have his armor and he lost that shotgun. Looks like AL will be heading around the corner to try and get that down. Obviously, with everybody focusing on Hydro, that means that the res on the sides of the map are going to go down, and launch control has just been dropped. So let's see whether or not that happens. 3 still down here in Hydro, and it looks like maybe Tommy Gun's trying to come in and take down Shades. Nope. They're a little too split to be able to do much of anything with Flo way down here and, Tommy was up here. I mean, there's a huge amount of distance, just like, positionally. There's this thing in the middle of the room. There's, a vertical distance. It's just not exactly very good, a very good fight to take when you're that split up. Weapons 1 finally getting started, so maybe they can kill something, but then again, that third hive, that's up to 26% grown. They're getting more biomass, so they'll be able to get Umbra. They'll be able to get pretty much whatever the heck they want. Oops, sorry. Looking at the Pyrrhus at the moment. Mikon's almost up to Onos res. And they've been pretty much doing okay with just JJ fading. I mean, he hasn't had any issues. He obviously hasn't died a horrible death yet. And there are, a couple other people that know how to fade on that team, I'm pretty sure. So even if he did die, it'd be easy enough to just say, hey, you can go fade. Do it. Make it happen. And they still have their lurks up, which are still doing quite a lot of work. They know Wake's there, though. Looks like Aol's just going to sit there. Here comes JJ, perhaps. They all have aura, guys. You can't hide around corners. Let's remember, they started with Shade Hives, so I mean, higher life forms. They can do that. Both Wake and JJ were both hurt in that engagement. Shays is still full health, so if they focus on him, they might be able to take him down. Obviously, the nice hallucination hive not really doing much of anything right there, aside from being annoying, eating bullets, blocking med packs too. I hear that those block med packs. He's actually welding it a little bit to try and make it go away. Looking over here, you can see that they have a Krag setting up there in the corner. They have a whip in the doorway. I mean, that's pretty well set. It'll be hard for them to go in there and try and take that. Umbra is now started, so they're pretty much gearing up for the end game. Mikan is in Onos at this point. We'll be seeing him showing up at some point. It looks like he's over in sort of Gravity-ish. Conquer over there versus Shades. They might actually take out Shades, maybe. Oh, whoa! Oh, both those licks got very low, and I don't know whether there was some wicked lag there, but he went flying around at like 3 times the speed I was expecting him to. Just looping around like crazy. I don't know. That Aussie internet. Anyway, having JJ moving into Andy Burr, not really necessarily the best place to stand in the room. I mean, there isn't really much room for him to back up. You'd have to pick a side and go that way. I mean, there's this giant thing in the middle of the room, which is kind of annoying, and Mikan's just kind of like playing with them at this point. Who else do we got that can go Onos? Sharp's what, 10 res away? A little bit less. JJ's just being, trying to be a creepy and taunting at them. But we'll see. I don't know whether that's my connection. Oh, okay. That's the server being bad. Hi guys, the server's bad. We had red connections. JJ sweeping in on AO there, getting a swipe, getting out of there. Because crazy things are going on. That'd be Wake and Shade sitting on the arms lab. Charge has been started at long last. They're going to lose the power over there in Pleasant at this point. Yeah, they already lost the power there in Energy Flow. They're not doing too good on res. We take a look. 5 RTs for, that's the res graph, quite obviously, and aliens have kind of taken off. You never want to see this gap like that. You want to see the blue line being the one that's on top, unless they're equal, and even if they're equal, that's bad. You can see that, though, they've taken down 11 RTs. Oops. Sorry, hitting the wrong button. Almost missed JJ, almost dying, but he got around the wall, so he's pretty much good to go now. They don't have any, they do have, looks like, oh, Wake died. Where did Wake die? Oh, it looks like he went in the base and got killed. Oops. Anyway, taking a look at this, you can see that the alien res kind of took off. They did take down 5 RTs. And they had 4, Intent had 4 themselves for a while there, but it's just at this point, they let the aliens have just taken off, and it's just taken off, and it's unless they're able to just melt Wake, or, well, melt Mikan, kill Shades, looks like Sharp just went on us. They have to just nuke both Onai from orbit, and the server, I think, is being a little bit wonky, at least for me. Andy Bird going down. Gate up in Gravity, though, so that's a nice little chunk of map that they're finally locked down. They're going to have to kill the Cis chain. They do have to worry about this fact that there's a bunch of life forms converging on the one in Hydro. They have Umbra on it, so that's going to be really hard for them to be able to get. And going through that gate is a very bad idea now. So they no longer have that central map control, which will allow them to basically go out and go to any part of the map. They do have the 2 Onai. They have a lurk up, which is really all you need. Wake is a gorge, so he can just bile bomb the heck out of everything. That's actually researching right now, though, so it'll be a little bit longer before they're able to do that. Combine that with the hallucinations, and it's just complete chaos, and all the Marines just got completely destroyed. We have one guy who's still alive, which would be it'd be poor Aol over here trying to cap stuff. But hey, they're up to 4 RTs again. Looking at this, they're only on weapons 1 still. Aol running away from the hallucination, which is still on the bottom floor. It doesn't know how to work the stairs. But that was enough distraction that they were able to take him down. Shades is actually pretty hurt, so if they got some more some pistol shots on him, then he'd go down no problem, except for the fact that JJ's there. Sharp's there. Yeah, they aren't even near each other, but hey, it's only weapons 1, right? Sharp running away a little bit. He gotta just meet up with Wake, who's hiding behind the wall. And they're just slowly pushing their way towards base. Aol trying to get some good shots on JJ. He did lose his armor, so he just needs to get healing from Wake. But they're just going to GG it at this point. It is kind of too late for them to be able to claw this back. And so that is it for Intent versus Singularity. Singularity wins it 4-0. And okay, I should wait for the banner, I guess. Then I'll hit the button. Okay. So good job to Singularity. Okay, now I hit the button. So there are, as I said, at least 2 games tomorrow. I guess I think I read that Ixion was casting one of them. He's the Singing Skulk, and I'm casting the other one, which is another Singularity game. There's another Intent game on some stupid hour in the morning for me on Sunday. That'll be, I think it's noon CEST. I think. I think it's like 2 p.m. in some Australian time zone. Okay, they're taking care of everything in chat for me. I don't have to type anything. I can just talk. Anyway, let's see here. As I said, there's like 5+ matches going on Sunday. So go check this out. If you're a caster and you see one of them, I think there are still 2 matches that don't have casters yet. So if you're a caster, maybe you want to pick up one of those if you aren't playing during that time period. Because, yeah, as I said, there's like at least 5 of them going on. And it's ranging all divisions. I think there's literally like everything playing. At least, I don't remember if there's a Div 4 match, but I know there's a Div 2, I know there's a Div 1, I know there's, Premier, that's, Titus is finally playing. Huzzah! Now I get to watch them, see how good they do. So, what else is there? As I said, Calamity versus, I don't know. Puzzle, no. Puzzle, who are you guys playing? I can't remember. I know Tawifik is playing. But I don't remember who they're fighting against, and the leftovers are playing. Just tons of teams. Let's just leave it at that. And it should be some good games. It'll be fun to watch. It'll be a lot of NS2. So even if you don't catch them all live, you'll be able to go and have VODs to watch for the next day and a half. But those are all the Sunday games. As I said, at least 2 games on Saturday. If you don't have your weeks 1 and 2 games organized yet, those need to be scheduled by the 19th. Played by the 19th, unless you, get an extension if, you can't schedule it, because we'd rather see the games played than, accept forfeits because, just people couldn't, people were on vacation or whatever, or sick. So, try and schedule them by then, try to have them done by then. If it looks like you can't schedule it by then, bug Zephyr for an extension. I'm sure he'll be totally happy to deal with that, but no, I'm actually not being too sarcastic with that. He'd rather see them played. But, Week 3 matches, those are due by the 21st. So try to get those done. I mean, you still have another week and change to go and play those. So get those done. Again, tons of links to all kinds of semi-relevant things at the bottom of the page, middle column bottom, something like that. Either way, go check that out. Let's see. Trying to remember what else. I think that pretty much covers everything. Just make sure to go watch that, and yeah, I'll see you guys later whenever I'm casting. Check the schedule on the NSL website. That's ensl.org. Log in, and it's in your time zone, so you don't have to do time zone math. And I will see you guys whenever I next see you. Thank you for watching, and yeah, have a good evening.